It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Monday, June the 12th. And man, I always forget how quickly Rocket Man fades out.
It's a quick fade.
I'm like, here we go. I love this out. Oh, it's gone. It's over. Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. Elton was in the studio and he goes, that's enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I guess it was enough. Boy,
like-
there's not too many songs. It's funny. I heard Rocket Man in a recording studio last year on that Atmos sound system, the new sound system, Atmos, if you've heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
And a buddy of mine said, you got to come and check out this new speaker system. And I did what I always do when people talk about music gear. I rolled my eyes so hard I gave myself a headache. And I'm like, I don't care. I know vinyl still sounds better. And I'm deaf, and what's the point? I've blown out my hearing. I'm not going to hear anything different. And I went into a recording studio, and he sat me in a chair, and he played Rocket Man, and I cried. About midway through the song, I'd never heard music like that. I felt like I was sitting inside the kick drum, and I was in the guitar chords, and I was in the microphone. It was like a virtual reality musical experience. It was incredible, and I thought, I can't remember the last time I listened to Rocket Man straight through, and it blew my mind. And I was like, I love Elton John so much, and I love Bernie Taupin, and I love Nigel Olsson. The drummer's amazing. It was really incredible. So if you have a friend with a $200,000 Atmos speaker system in a studio, go take advantage of it.
All right, now that's going to be my focus this week is to find that friend.
And now back to listening to music through my smartphone.
Seeing Elton John was a vibe. It was
Oh, sure it was.
insane. It was not one empty seat in the house. Just all the outfits. He
When
was
was this
such
show?
a sweetie. I think
76.
last year.
Last
Yeah,
year.
last
And that was where was he playing?
at the XL, so where we saw
Right.
the Cure. So it
Oh,
was
man.
it was awesome. It was the farewell tour. Everyone was dressed up, fun glasses.
Of course.
I wore like a cute outfit.
I saw Elton John in a parking lot in Atlanta in 1991, and I gasped. I literally just looked out, and there he was, and I was like,
Okay, that's cooler, Steve.
What was he wearing?
No, but I've never seen him live. I would actually, he was wearing a full-length, like, fur coat.
Mohair.
Of course.
Wow.
And I'm like, do you know we're in Georgia?
Doesn't
But
matter.
it was winter time, but still. But I just seeing him get out of a car from 20 feet away, and I audibly gasped. You just don't expect to see, the Elton John in a parking lot. Like, oh my God, there he is. It's Monday morning. I hope everybody had a fine weekend. Zep?
Yeah.
Any malfeasance or everything cool?
Oh, God, all sorts of it. I was in Wisconsin, raising hell. Got a little bit of a voice left this morning, but
Attaboy.
I can't overdo it. Yeah, it was yesterday, just a beautiful day. It was a full day of recovery. I left the house for a burrito and then went right back to bed.
Wisconsin? I got my ass kicked in Wisconsin once.
Yeah, I did again over the weekend.
Nice. Candace, band rehearsals. Everything okay?
Yeah, we sound great. It's going to be a good end of summer run. We're going to play at the Tribute Fest in Duluth and Chili Feed in September.
I love any member of any band who, when you say how do you sound, that everybody usually, we got to work on this, got to tighten that up. And Candace straight to it. No, we sound good,
No, we
man.
do.
We're gonna rock.
Well, we haven't rehearsed together in like maybe 7 months, so I wasn't really expecting
yeah.
it, and so it was a pleasant surprise. But I did do something else.
Mm-hmm.
You guys know more than me about life, and you've seen more movies.
Sure.
You know more about music.
We're
sports.
just older. We don't
Okay.
know more. Trust
Well,
me. I wish that were the case.
I've never seen Rocky.
What?
And so I went down this Rocky rabbit hole this weekend.
How
and
many
watched
did you watch?
The first one, half of the second, I fell asleep. Sorry.
Sure.
The fourth, and then Creed 3.
What happened to Mr. T?
You did not see Rocky
We
3.
started.
Yeah, you saw
okay,
3,
we
right?
started. I had to go to bed though. I watched 4 before 3 for some reason, just because my friend Lynn is really educated about Rocky, and she said that was her favorite.
One
I'm-
and 3 are the best.
I'm confident that you can keep up with the character development having skipped 3. I mean, I will say that. I don't think this is like, Dickens, where you have to, I missed a few chapters. What the hell happened?
What you talking about, fool?
That said, yeah, 1 and 3 were
Okay.
always the ones I preferred.
Yeah.
Cool.
Is 4, is that Drago?
Oh,
Is that
yeah,
him
it's in
going to-
Russia.
oh,
He'll
yeah.
break you.
I would break you. Okay, then. So you're up to date on Rocky.
Yeah.
You already went all the way forward to Creed. That's fantastic.
It was just like cool. I didn't know anything about it, and I didn't know that he was so sexy.
Sly?
He was chubby back then.
Oh,
wasn't
Sly's the
I'm into
man.
it. I'm really into it.
Sly Stallone. Fun fact: not 5'10".
No, he's a little
he?
fella.
Oh, yeah, I sat next to him in a casino one time.
Yeah.
And we
What?
both stood up, and I was like, yeah, with Terry and I, one of our trips out
Yeah.
there, and she's like, Sly Stallone is right behind you. And I spun in the chair. I'm like, I'm not going to casually, is he right? And yeah, so I spun in my chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a big guy.
In an elevator with him, and I thought, my God, I could put him right on my shoulder.
Oh, that would have been fun.
Push
Are you a
number
picture?
5.
I mean, I
will
couldn't
you
have kept
please?
him there, but I could have got him there. You know what I'm saying? Tone, your weekend, you had plans to dig in and rediscover the Pink catalog. I think that was your plan.
Yeah, and I
start
finally
at the beginning.
I realized that magic. No,
Yeah.
I did good family time. Did some visiting. We went to Brits to go see Inter Milan play Manchester City, but it turned into a downpour and hail and wiped it out.
You just got so. Well, I know.
Yeah.
Rosemary and I were planning to meet you, and then and then as we were headed that way, the clouds opened, and you just got absolutely. You were like in a flood zone, is what you sent me a photo, and I thought that it looks like a drowned rat.
Yeah,
I mean, all love and respect implied.
and I had to go get the car, of course, for the
Of
family
course you did.
blocks
Yeah,
away.
man.
Which, by the way,
Hero.
which there you are trying to do what's right. You know, you're taking your kids. You're being a good dad. We all love our kids. Nothing's better. But sometimes, and that's one of those examples, man, being a parent just sucks. Let's just not kid ourselves. We've all got. I woke up this morning. Okay, you get soaked out being a good dad on Saturday. I wake up this morning at 3 whatever. I wake up because Chauncey wakes up, and that's just how it rolls sometimes. And there's a bunch of text messages from my son, who's almost 23. He's in Mexico with some buddies down at a beach town, living the life that I should be living. And I get a whole series of text messages that came in overnight about he and his buddies. They were shook down by some cops. Small town cops walked up, saw 3 young Americans, probably drunk, and they just said, we need cash or you're going to jail. And they literally just blindly robbed my son and his 2 friends of all the cash they had in their pockets.
Come on back to Mexico.
Exactly.
Thanks for visiting.
And I'm like, okay, but then by the end, so I'm reading these texts like, oh my God. And then he's like, we're all good. We're back at the house now, but it's kind of freaky. And I'm like, why are you texting this to me? If it ended well, I'm going to wake up at 3:30, 4 a.m., and then I'm going to just, I'm going to, like, I haven't even had coffee, and I'm just like, what? I'm thinking, I got to go to the airport and go bust this kid out of the joint in Mexico. And then he's like, it's all good. And I'm like, when I was your age, I would have had the decency to just keep that to myself.
Right? You still probably wouldn't have told your parents by now.
No, it would have come
Yeah.
up over Christmas years later.
Yeah.
Like, man, this, and we're anything but helicopter parents, but still, it's that phone thing. It's just I appreciate the fact that he was sharing that with me, but he knows, and I know in his mind he's thinking, well, I know my dad's already asleep. He'll see this when he wakes up. I'm just letting him know, but then I'm like, yeah, but if I had woken up right as he was texting, if I'd popped awake at 1, when I would have been up early. And my whole point is this. Just, if you're fine, you're fine. Just don't, I'm like the Don. The Don likes to hear bad news immediately when Tom Hagen tells the movie producer. That's me. It's the one time I look at myself like I'm a Vito Corleone for the modern age. Let me know if it's hit the fan. But otherwise, it can wait till the morning.
Yeah,
I'm like, here I am, still a dad, still freaking out. And I'm like, man, literally nothing better than my kids, but man,
It
just never ends.
It's got to be a good reason to interrupt your sleep. I've had the same kind of thing happen in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Just waking you up in the middle of the night, Dad, to let you know I'm okay. Well, all
my
right.
God. Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
I don't.
See, that's you just send a text that says, when you get this, just know everything's fine.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, you might not even Google to see what went down. You're just like, great, happy to know it.
Right.
Hey, it goes both ways. If my mom or someone texts me in the middle of the night, I'm going to be worried too.
Why the hell would any parent ever contact their
Emergency?
kid? There is no emergency. Not that my kid can help me out with. Catch you tomorrow. Yeah. My children will never hear from me in the middle of the night, ever.
We could probably put together a laundry list of all the things that we can't stand about taking care of our favorite people on the planet as parents, and I think that's a beautiful thing to get into for later in the show.
For a Monday morning, I love it. Just some good old parental bitching. Let's get it off our chest. I got princess movies. Of course, I don't have to watch them anymore, but My God, if
Had a
Disney made
few?
another princess movie,
Had a few.
a few too many.
Close your eyes. You just see
The
Anne
best.
Hathaway. Like, enough already.
Yeah.
I get it. You're a princess. You wrote a little diary. Go on with it.
Same exact plot line in every
Oh my
damn
God,
movie.
you're so wrong.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, and guess what? There was always some dude that bailed him out at the end.
Hey,
Not very feminist.
Oh, boy.
Not
Here
very
we go.
cool. Not
you're
very cool.
stereotyping it.
I am stereotyping Disney movies. As a father, I would like a little better movies for my kids. Now they're grown up and they're making the movies, but they're not kids anymore.
It's
but they
fine.
grew up on that.
Too much death in early Disney
And what
movies.
happens? What
Hell
happens when?
yeah.
And then the little princesses want to call you in the middle of the night and scare the hell out of you. That's what I'm talking about.
That's it. It all comes around full circle.
My voice is gone. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.
Sounds sexy. You got like a Brenda Vaccaro vibe going on
Stop
over
it.
there.
Now I'm blushing.
Let's have a week while we're all going to be here anyway. Might as well make the most of it. And right now, it is time for the Mike Evans Hollywood Report. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning. Good morning on National Superman Day.
I'm sorry?
National Superman Day.
Are we supposed to honor Superman, or we're all supposed to
I
act
don't-
like Superman? What the hell are you talking about?
I don't know what the hell this is. National Superman Day. Is that your favorite superhero? Or
As a kid, I was a Spider-Man guy, but then Spider-Man blew up, and of course, I have to run away from the. It's like when your favorite band becomes popular, you're like, "Oh, I was into them when no one cared." So
Yeah, exactly.
I had to leave Spidey behind. But I had the album, the '70s, the rock album, Spider-Man, which I still could sing you half the songs if I needed to.
wow.
Yeah.
I got some love nuggets for you. When casting the great movie Thelma and Louise, Gina Davis, one of the female leads, demanded heavy say in picking the male lead. And the studio, originally, they wanted to go with this up-and-coming actor named Grant Snow, who never really did much of anything except appearing on Melrose Place TV show.
Yeah, I knew that name sounded familiar.
She said no to him. So the studio's second choice was Mark Ruffalo.
Mm-hmm.
She said no to him. Producer said, well, how about this young, good-looking guy, George Clooney? She said no to him. Gina insisted on a young, unknown Brad Pitt, who apparently she wanted to have some kind of relationship with. Brad got the gig. She got the short-lived relationship. And to this day, Gina loves saying, well, Brad Pitt owes me his career.
Wow. Okay.
Maybe he does.
There are worse people to have on the hook, I guess.
I guess. They can't stand each other, but they can't stand being away from each other. So Steve, Machine Gun Kelly, and Megan Fox just hook up every time they're in the same city, which, boy, it happens a lot. I mean,
okay, great.
almost-
One of these days, I'll figure out who the hell you're talking about, Mike.
I know. Movie news. Johnny Depp's movie, Jean Dubarry, set in the 1740s about Louis XV and his concubine. Boy, this thing is beyond bad. It's going to be a box office bomb, even though Johnny Depp says it's going to be big. And maybe that's why, remember, after the Amber Heard story, Johnny Depp, who won that case, said he was interested in doing Pirates of the Caribbean. One more Pirates movie. Disney said they were interested. Now, maybe because of this last movie, Disney has now backed out. There will be no more Pirates of the Caribbean. I think I'll live. What do you think?
I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
Not.
Meanwhile, Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny opens in 2 weeks. And, this is the kind of movie that you're either going to love or you're going to hate. You're either going to buy into what they're selling or it's going to be, this has just been there, done that. However, pre-ticket sales are going pretty good for the film.
Is
I think
this
people
the
might
one?
go see
Is
that.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge in this one?
What?
Is Phoebe Waller-Bridge? Is this the movie that she's in?
Yes, she is. And
Yeah. Well, then I'll see it.
fabulous.
I don't need to see any more Harrison Ford in my life, but I'm a sucker for Fleabag and whatever she's in.
She's gorgeous. She's just a great actress.
She's just
really.
brilliant.
Odds and ends prediction: the Writers, Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television Radio Artists, and one other union will come to terms on June 30th. That's what little birdie tells me in Hollywood. We'll see if he's right. Look, I love Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as much as anybody, and obviously so does NBC. That is why they've stood by his horrible, hideous, no-ratings TV show, Young Rock, for 2 years.
Okay.
They finally pulled the plug on that. Did you ever see that show?
No, sir.
Oh, no, neither did anybody else. It was
Right.
terrible. So I'm anxious to get your thoughts on this. Rod Stewart says he's selling the $70 million Los Angeles mansion because he's had enough of the United States of America's crime, its politics, its taxes. Stewart called the United States a totally toxic country. Mm-hmm. I say, okay, Rod, just don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. We'll see you later.
You're saying this from your $70 million castle?
Yeah, exactly.
Gee, it must be tough.
Yeah, really. What do you think? Nuggets win tonight?
Yes, sir.
Okay, want to make sure. And a little heads up, tomorrow morning I'm having the all-day follow-up exam for my heart surgery. So MP3 tomorrow, but I will be back on Wednesday.
Hey, I'm sorry. I guess I've just assumed all is well. You're feeling good, though. You sound great.
What's really weird, Steve, is I'm feeling good. I'm walking 2 and 3 miles a day. I don't have any chest pains or any of that. But I guess they hung me upside down for those almost 6 hours or whatever they did. There's muscles pulled on my arm and on my right side of on my right side. It gives me a lot of pain, so I don't know what they're going to put me on more steroids or something to stop that. But I think they pulled or tore some muscles on my right side. But my heart's fine.
Okay, great. If you have a second, Mike, I'm sorry.
No, I got time.
Was this some sort of vampire bat experiment? What do you mean they hung you upside down for 6 hours?
Well, the practitioner, nurse, whatever she is, she said, look, when we do that surgery, we sometimes have to put you in some very strange positions to get up through your groin and then later on to get down through your chest to stop your heart, to collapse your lungs. You're just not laying there flat.
Yeah,
and
gotcha.
Sometimes muscles get pulled.
All right. Love you, Mike. Sorry I asked. Okay, great.
Enjoy your breakfast. Have a great day. See ya.
See ya.
Jeez, I'm complaining my voice this morning, I guess. A little scratchy. Tony's got a bad back, but no one hung us upside down and went in through our crotch over the week. Well, I'm only speaking for myself.
Yeah.
Candace.
We hate to assume anything around here.
Yeah, you better not.
Hey, we mentioned earlier in the show, we're talking about what it is to be a parent and how, we love our kids, but they make us nuts. Sometimes when you're a kid, you realize I love my parents, but they make us nuts.
Yeah.
Did you see this story? A couple in L.A. were cleaning out their parents' basement last year, and they found a bag. There was a duffel bag. Guy unzips it. It's full of pennies. And then he sees another bag, and then another bag, and then another bag. So, again, a couple is clearing out their parents' basement. They found over 1 million pennies in a crawl space, a literal ton of pennies. In a tight crawl space in the back of the basement, there were loose pennies, boxes of pennies, crates of pennies, dozens of bank bags filled with pennies. And they didn't say how old they were, but the pennies are made of copper, not zinc, which means they all predate 1980.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
I wonder if any rare ones, I don't know anything about collecting coins, but in addition to be worth 1 million minus two, $10,000.
$10,000. Yeah, $10K.
In addition to that, there's got to be a rare penny or two.
You would think there would
right?
be. They thought their first thought was go to a Coinstar. Like, I guess you're just going to go into Cub and just stand there for 9 hours, dumping pennies. They didn't want to give up the 8%. Banks are not interested. Like they called all these banks going, "Hey man, we got 1 million pennies," and they're like, "Great, have fun with them."
They're trying to get rid of pennies.
Yeah, they certainly are. So they've put some ads up online. They're offering to sell 1 million pennies for $25,000. So we've got $10,000 worth of old pennies. They can be yours for $25,000. I guess to your point, Zep, someone would dig through those looking for a rare, valuable coin.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Why did they save all those pennies?
That's the thing. They have absolutely no idea.
Weird. It's a lot of good luck.
It's unclear why. The family believes that their parents were intentionally converting paychecks to copper pennies, believing their value would go up over time. I guess they thought they're switching to zinc. Why, these pennies will be worth a fortune one day. Not so much.
Oh, a nice vacation.
I guess you could melt down that copper and get some piping interest. I don't know.
And to just sift through them individually to find one that's worth something, it would take years.
It's as a guy I'm allergic to jigsaw puzzles. The idea of digging through 100 pennies, much less a million. I'd have to put on the readers, if not a magnifying glass. Right. I'd have to really look at it. And now, that's a 1923 or 1946? I can't tell the difference. Oh, it would drive me absolutely crazy.
Yeah, bonkers. But good for them, I guess. 10 grand.
It could be. I mean, 10 grand is 10 grand. I mean, pennies. At least it's not stamps. Because God, I've never understood the stamp thing.
I just assumed it was before the internet or any form of entertainment, really.
Yeah, I imagine so. I don't know. It's all Greek to me. But anyway, if you're looking to spend 25 grand on 10 grand worth of pennies, we can get you the information you need.
Just I got an old truck I'd love to sell you too. It doesn't have an engine, but you'll love it.
That's exactly right. All right, let's. Why don't we look back? How about a history lesson? On this day in 1991, the Chicago Bulls won their first NBA championship. They finally got over. Michael Jordan got his first championship. They beat the Lakers 4-1. I was crushed as a Lakers fan back in the day. To me, I always said June 12th, 1991 was officially the day the 80s ended. You know, the Lakers and Celtics were dead. Long live the Bulls. Yeah. I didn't care about movies or music and what that meant, but to me, this was the day the 80s officially came crashing to an end. Speaking of things ending on this day, in 1994, O.J. Simpson's life as a guy people looked up to ended because on this day, he killed 2 people. Remember that whole thing?
Oh, yeah.
O.J. Simpson, hero of the gridiron, Hertz pitchman, star of the Naked Gun film franchise, killed his ex-wife and a friend of hers on this day. And then, of course, the trial of the century, which proved, oddly enough, you can be guilty and be framed.
Yes.
Nice job, LAPD. You had a guy dead to rights and you still mucked it all up. And on this day in 1997, I realized how old I had become because interleague play started in baseball, and I said, this is terrible. First ever get off my porch moment. Like, what do I care if the Twins play the Cubs? Who cares? I was like, this is ridiculous. They're ruining baseball. Just knee-jerk reaction because I was a jerk, I guess.
Well, you don't
with
change,
2 knees.
Yeah, you don't change things with baseball. It's one of those. You muck around with football, soccer, basketball all you want, but not baseball. That's how we were raised. But you're
exactly right.
That's the point. Yeah.
Go figure. There's some mystery going down this week in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Why don't you make a plan this Saturday? Join the KQ Morning Show for a trip to the Chip. We're all heading over to Chippewa Falls for Line & Kugel's summer kickoff. That is this Saturday, June 17th at the Liney Lodge. And I am not exaggerating when I say I am chirping with excitement about that day. We're all going to be there from 4 to 6. You can check out my new band, Bagmen. This is our first show. A band that has existed on paper forever, and we're finally getting around to playing. A little 3-piece rock badassery for you. Bagmen playing at 4 o'clock. Come out early for cold Line & Kugel's beer, food, games, and more. The kickoff to the summer starts at 10 a.m. at the Liney Lodge. You can get tickets right now at 92kqrs.com. I sincerely cannot wait for Saturday.
I'm stoked, even though I am coming off of a weekend in Wisconsin.
Why not go back to back, brother? Double it up.
It's been a while. I think I can do this. I can pull this off. Hey, right before this, we were talking about that penny, the 1 million pennies someone found in their basement.
Yep.
Candace, we have a caller about pennies.
John from Brooklyn Park.
John, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
What's happening?
The deal with the whole penny thing is all they were copper. And there was a rumor around that they were going to discontinue the penny.
Okay.
So, with that in mind, everybody started collecting copper pennies. Then you could sell them for scrap.
So it was for scrap. Okay.
Those million pennies are probably worth about $200,000.
Really?
Well, I think we need to pass the hat around here and get on this ad. It said they put an ad online. They'd part with them for $25,000, but they're only getting lowballed. So you're saying that's a good investment.
So for the 4 of us and you, John, that's $5,000 a pop. Yeah. Are we in or what? Are we going to do this?
I'm in, but the problem is, are they actually going to discontinue the penny? We'd have to sit on that.
Oh, there's that.
Back in the basement.
Every investment comes with a risk. It's risk reward, baby.
Damn.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for that intel.
Yeah.
We'll research and we'll get back to you. We won't. I'm just saying that. That's the kind of thing you say. But thank you, sir. That's fascinating.
Well, if it's worth 250 G's in scrap, why wouldn't it be now? All right, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, but right, I just thought about that. All that copper they're stealing, that's why one of the reasons they take your Cadillac and inverters, the copper in there. Well, this penny thing, we may never get to the bottom of it, but we are going to move on from it. We have a hell of a morning. Fortune Feimster coming up this morning. I'm stoked. That's happening at 8 o'clock. Our game show at 7:30. Till then, we're venting about our kids this morning. Not Candace. I'm just looking at the KQ Facebook post. I love it.
And that's okay.
That's okay.
That's totally okay, dear.
You're grounded. And now we want to open it up to you. What parenting sucks sometimes? What moments have you? A couple of them. Some great winners on here. We also have a phone number. The Maple Grove Lock and Safe Talk and Text line. Feel free to use it. 651-989-ROCK. A good parental horror story to get our Monday kicked off here at 7 o'clock. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Monday, June the 12th. Let's see. What's the body count between the morning show here? There's 6 kids. I got 2. Tony's got 2. Zep's got 2, right? That's how many kids we all have?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Man, doesn't it suck sometimes?
Oh,
doesn't it just suck being a parent? You love these kids.
Yeah.
And to quote Kevin Cronin, we're going to keep on loving these kids. There's nothing else. We have no choice in the matter. But, man, there are moments. We all know you're going to deal with poopy diapers. And all. That's nothing. That's just that's a few seconds of your life. It's the monotonous... it's playing with toys you didn't like even when you were a kid. It's trying to come up with a way to, there's nothing more exhausting than a long flight with a child that you're working so hard to entertain so that they don't become that toddler on the plane everyone else talks about for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, right.
There's just moments when you're like, okay, I signed up for this, but I didn't read the fine print. And again, all the love that I can muster for my kids, but man, there's a few times I can look back and go, yeah, no, I'm still not cool with that. That was not at all part of the plan. And before we go any further, Kenneth, I believe we have a caller who wants to share a story with us.
Troy from Ramsey.
Troy, good morning.
Good morning.
What do you got for us, brother?
Well, my son was 2 years old.
Okay.
And I was on a business trip to Chicago, and he decided to lock himself in the bathroom and decided to turn on all the water.
Well.
And flood it.
Oh, boy.
And my ex-wife decided, or she ended up calling me when I was in Chicago, and she could not get in there because he decided to pull the drawer out next to the door.
Okay.
Put that drawer there.
Yeah, so he totally flooded the whole bathroom, and she had to call the fire department and
oh, man,
get them in there and stuff. So
yeah, that's and what's this? What's he doing these days? How is he?
Well, he's 25 now, and he lives in Maryland. So
okay,
so he's a plumber.
It was predestined.
Nope, not a plumber.
Man.
Nope.
Yeah, we that's I appreciate that call, Troy. That's definitely one of the all timers. And by the way, I can relate. Our daughter Marley similarly flooded a bathroom she went to wash her hands before we went out. Like what a good kid. She's like 4. She runs into the little powder room. Oh, I'm gonna wash my hands before, and just left enough of a little bit of water coming in with the sink stopper in place, and so it just trickled. We were out of the house for 6 or 7 hours, and thankfully there was actually in the floor right next to the sink was an air conditioning vent, and all the water went in that.
Nice.
Like a floor vent. So we had to replace the duct, like the big AC things in your basement. One of that's where it burst. The flood was all the water in the basement through that AC thing. With the silver duct, but could have been a lot worse. But I can relate to that feeling of opening a door and going, is there, what am I smelling? Is there a water vibe somewhere in this house? You can just tell. Nothing worse about that. Hey, thanks for the call, my man.
All right, thank you.
The playground scene. I remember when Rosemary was pregnant with our son, as it turned out, our first child. We lived in Brooklyn, and we lived right near Prospect Park, and we would walk. They had a playground called the Tot Lot, and you walk through it, and you see all the young parents with the little babies and toddlers, and you just think, this is going to be so awesome until you bring your tot to the Tot Lot and you realize this is gross. It's just children rolling around in dirt and grime and eating grass, and who knows what animal just took a dump in that grass, and all the kids get into arguments because they want to be on the slide first. My son broke his leg at that Tot Lot, stepped on a tennis ball in stride, twisted his little leg, and we just the playground scene. The problem I had at playgrounds was just the colossal, just waiting for devastating injury to happen, but then B, there's just the mindless chatter with other parents. And I'm a sociable guy. I like, hey, what's up? How you doing? Yeah. And I saw that as an opportunity to talk with other parents about we're here with our kids. Can we talk about something else? You know, because I love my kid with everything, but I don't want to talk about about 3-year-olds.
I know. Tough to steer it away from that, though, isn't it?
The main conversation, I always thought one of the upsides was a little down, go play, go nuts, go crazy, while I just sit here and enjoy some, chill out time. Yeah. And then, hi, how are you? What's your name? Which one's yours? Stop it. Don't. Let's not. Please.
That works at the dog park, but not at the Tot Lot. You know.
But hey, the kids grow out of it, right? Maybe not so much. What happened here, Dana, on the KQ Facebook page? Now listen to this one. One sentence. My son got married in our basement while his dad and I slept upstairs.
Whoa!
My son got married in the basement while the parents slept upstairs. What in the hell? How do you even begin to wrap your mind around that?
Well, I saved some dough.
Well, yeah, sure.
But there's some planning. You can't get married on the spur of the moment unless you just happen to have an officiant there with you.
Yeah,
maybe his weed dealer was also an officiant of some sort, legally able to marry them. Maybe he waited for his parents to go to sleep before he bought the weed. One thing leads to another. We'll just assume all of these things until we get more information.
Right, exactly, Dana. If you want to call that in, we'd love to hear it on the Maple Grove Lock and Safe Talk and Text 651-989-ROCK. Also, when they get older, you do things for your kids that you wouldn't do for yourself anymore. I'm just at that age now where if I'm going to move, I'm hiring some movers. I'm going to scrape together some dough. We're going to get some movers together. I'm not moving. But your kids, first of all, you don't want to hire them a mover. That's a bit spoiled, and it's hard-earned money. And you can move at your age, but of course I'll help. So suddenly I'm, hauling couches down 3 stories of stairs and tight stairwells and that sort of thing. Things I just wouldn't. I'm like, oh, you're not moving again, are you? Of course I'll help them, Dad. But God, I really don't want to.
Year and a half ago, my son moved over the Christmas break. He's in college. He changed domiciles, and so we went back in January to Bloomington, Indiana, on a freezing cold Sunday afternoon to move some furniture. We got to the new place, and as we pulled in, he said, "Did I tell you it's on the 3rd floor?" I said, "What is?" He goes, "My bedroom." And I said, "No, you left that part out of the equation." A chest of drawers and a full bed and frame and mattress and box spring up to the 3rd floor. And again, speaking of floods, and that same day, one of his new roommates, when he left before Christmas, turned the thermostat off. Didn't set it down. He turned it off. And so for 3 weeks, the place just froze.
Oh, wow.
And we thankfully did not use any water while we were moving in. We went out to get a bite to eat, and one of the other roommates came back, flushed the toilet, and all the pipes exploded because everything was frozen. And then that was out for the semester. It was the whole house flooded, and we moved him right back to the place we'd moved him out of.
Oh, man.
And I was like, this was the greatest waste of my time ever. Thanks, son of mine.
But you'll be there to do it again if needed. Yeah, if you're in the vicinity.
Always.
I like Chris writes in that when he was at a Quick Trip store, left the 5 kids in the car. He said, it's all right, it was the 90s. You could do that then.
Yeah, right.
Before I went in, I asked if anyone needed to use the bathroom. There's the classic parent, right? And they all shake their head no, or that you get no response.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone said no, unannounced to me. One of them decided they needed to go. While Dad was in the store, one got out of the car and went into the bathroom. Oh, Dad comes out, jumps in the car. Do you think any of the other 4 kids said, hey, so-and-so's in the bathroom?
Oh, my God.
He's driving away, and he catches them, I think, in the rearview mirror, waving their hands. To this day, it's still my fault in their eyes.
That'll haunt you.
Yeah, that's good.
That will haunt you. I've never left a kid behind. I was on a tour where we left a guitar tech behind once for 8 hours. Guy got out at Mount Rushmore to use the bathroom. The rest of us took a look at the iconic carving on the mountain face and then got back on the bus. Okay, we're off to Seattle. 8 hours later, realized we'd left a guy behind without a wallet or a cell phone.
Oh, dude. How did you realize he left him behind? What triggered it finally?
Tour manager finally said, "Has anyone seen Reg?" And the answer was, "He's in his bunk, right?" No. That was a brutal one. Yeah, you got to get the head count regardless of your situation. We were driving on New Year's Eve once. My wife and I, 2 little kids. They were 2 and 4, 2.5, 4.5. And we went up to see my brother and his family for New Year. It was New Year's Eve. We saw them in the afternoon. We're driving back home. And we're right at the state line, Kentucky going into Tennessee. And it was early evening, but it was already pitch black because it's December 31st. And right as we're approaching the rest area, the state line, welcome to Tennessee, thankfully, I drove over something on the highway, went up under the car and punctured like the oil tank in the car somehow. Yeah. All of a sudden, my car is just dumping oil. Every light in the dashboard lights up. I feel the power leaving immediately. And I mean, I'm like, whoa, what's happening? Like, there's this immediate danger Will Robinson moment. And as I look up, there's the exit ramp for the Welcome Center right there. Greatest luck of my life.
Yeah.
I put the car in neutral and we just cruise, smoke billowing out. We cruise into a parking space, turn the car off, jump out, get the kids out. I'm like, are we about to blow up or anything? That was, so we're like, oh my God, what a lucky break that this rest area was right here and we coasted in. We walk into the little building, the little building there where they always have, just two bathrooms and a giant map that no one ever looks at in the modern age anymore. No one around, completely deserted. Do have a cell phone. I call my brother. I go, hey man, we're at the state line, blah, blah, blah. It's only 30 miles from his house, 20 miles. But he says, yeah, I'll send my daughter down. My niece comes to get us. But in the interim, as we're waiting, the kids are just walking, they're playing around in the little lobby area of this rest area. And I look over and I notice my son is pushing the door open. There's like 2 glass doors, a set of adjoining doors. And he's pushing one open and letting it shut, pushing it, letting it shut, pushing it, letting it shut. He's 4 and that's fun.
Sure.
And I'm just kind of thinking about, where my life has all gone so wrong. And I'm thinking also, well, the kids are in a good mood. Thank God we ate before we got in the car. And this could be a lot worse. And then all of a sudden I heard this. Move your hand. What are you doing? Marley, his little sister. And then I hear the wail, the scream of the century. Yeah. She has got her hand stuck in between 2 doors. Like her fingers are jammed. One door is shut on another with 2 Marley fingers sitting there and she can't get her hand out. And my son, instead of just simply pushing the door open, he just panics and yells. And it's like, I run over, I push the door open. She pulls 2 of her fingertips are flattened, literally look like sheets of paper. And I didn't realize this, but if you do that to a 2.5-year-old's hand, it'll pop back out after a few minutes. But for a minute, I thought we're gonna have to lose those fingers. They're done. And then our little hour-long wait at a rest area turned into a whole different thing. And I just thought, I'd just tap out of everything right here. The screams echoing through that rest area, and it's New Year's Eve, and everybody but us is having fun. Whew, baby, parenting is just adorable sometimes. Before we move forward, Candace, you have a very important announcement to make.
Yeah, I guess Pat from Anoka doesn't want Impractical Jokers tickets, so he hung up on me. So we are looking for another contestant for our game show that's happening right now. So pick up the phone, dial in 651-989-7625.
651-989 rock right now to get to qualify to compete in a game to try to win tickets to see Impractical Jokers. We've got 1 caller ready to go. We need a second caller. I'm sure we'll hear from someone momentarily. In the meantime, Zepp, last night I saw your buddy Gary Lewis from the Jayhawks. He played over at the Parkway Theater.
Yeah.
Just a solo show. It was fantastic.
Yeah, was he playing some Jayhawks tunes? I know Gary has some some solo stuff as well. And the Parkway Theater, have not been over there in a long time, probably since the renovation was complete. But yeah, what a great theater to catch a show.
Really nice, really cool neighborhood, and it was a moment to me, again, like so many nights, this was hey, I live here now. This is cool. It's a new place, new venue. Hung out with some cool folks, just met. It was just a good, kind of feeling it. Right, dig it. Live music gig. This is such a great music town. One of the things that I've always loved about it here. So last night was just another one of those, man, this place is awesome. It's perfect day. Really, really nice.
Yeah, and they do a great job of Minneapolis neighborhoods, I think, in particular, of keeping dive bars cool, keeping old theaters, renovating them and turning them into spaces to see comedians. They have comedians there a lot, and live bands, live entertainment. And Minneapolis, I think, shines in that. You go to some cities and dive bars are just dive bars. They're just scummy. But dive bars here just have the coolest vibe and just a great hangout appeal as well.
Yeah, it was really great, really good. Got the itch, boy. I've seen a lot of live music in the last week. 3 nights out in 1 week for me, that's a lot. Boy, I can't wait for Saturday. My band Bagmen playing over at Line and Kugel's. Come on, baby.
You are just chomping at the bit, man.
I really am.
Yeah.
You haven't played a gig in a while, and this is a new band. It's our first gig. So again, Bagmen over at Chippewa Falls. You can get tickets to the summer kickoff at Leinenkugel at 92kqrs.com. We're all going to be there from the morning show. My new band will be there. It's going to be a great day. I'm excited about it.
And a great venue. The other thing is the amphitheaters. I mean, there's just so many different ways. And, of course, this is over in Wisconsin, about an hour and a half or so. But, but we have a lot of them around here, too. But, yeah, what a great venue. I have not been over to Liney's Lodge for a show. I've been over to the brewery.
Right.
But I haven't been over there for a big show at their amphitheater, and be some other bands playing there as well. And, of course, all the food, and maybe a brew or two. Might be a cold shandy waiting for us when we get there. So, yeah, that's going to be a wild weekend. And I'm doing it. My daughter is coming with me. It's Father's Day weekend. We'll just take the whole weekend. We're dad. We're greedy like that.
Nice.
But what a cool thing to do with Dad. Drag him over to the Liney's Lodge. Let him have a few beers.
I think it's great to have a plan for all of us. That's all I'm saying. Candace, are we ready to roll here?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's go. We've got 2 callers. And, Tony, what are these callers going to be playing today?
They're going to play a fine game.
What the hell does that mean? That means whatever the hell you want it to mean.
What the hell is even that?
What the hell does that mean?
What the hell does that mean?
So words are good. We like to use words, especially ones we don't know the meaning of, but hopefully you do, our brilliant listeners. So we'll give you a word, and you tell us which definition is the correct one.
What the hell does that mean?
What?
That's always the best to me. All right, that sounds like a plan as well. Candace, who is caller number 1 for what the hell does that mean?
We have Justin from Trim Bell, Wisconsin.
Justin, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Are you ready to compete a little something we call what the hell does that mean?
Yeah, I sure am.
I hope so, because you're up, brother. Tony, take it away.
All right, Senator, number 1, the first word is abaft. Abaft. Is it A, the bisecting angle of a rhombus, B, toward or at the stern of a ship, or C, something Brian takes every Saturday night whether he needs it or not? Abaft.
I'm going to guess B on that one, guys.
You guessed correctly.
Friday night's my bath night.
Strong. Everybody knows Zepp's bath schedule, Tony. Come on.
Number 2, Mel drop. Mel drop. A, what Mel does when he's exhausted. B, a cough suppressant with extra melzapine. Or C, a bit of mucus at the end of one's nose. Mel drop.
I'm going to guess C on that one.
Man, you are doing very, very well.
Man, he is rolling this morning.
All right, pal. Number 3 is wallop. Is it A, a derogatory term for a resident of Washington State? B, a beating, wallop, or C, a battered and fried delicacy served with dippin' sauce?
That is B for beating.
Wallop.
Wow.
I like the C answer. That sounds good. Maybe I'm just hungry this morning.
Could be.
Sounds tasty.
Here's a wallop.
Your last one here, sir. Number 4 is conundrum. Is it A, what Steve Gorman plays in his new band Bagmen? B, slang term for your private parts? Or C, a difficult problem, conundrum?
The answer is definitely C.
It is. You don't want to take a fast pitch right in the conundrum.
I would just like to say, for the record, A and B are not necessarily mutually exclusive.
Well, he nailed all 4 of them, did he not?
Justin, well done, sir.
Way to rise and shine.
I asked the guy if he was ready. He could have said, hell yes, I'm ready. Well done, sir. We're going to put you on hold for a minute, Justin, and see how your competition does. Candace, who is that competition?
Derek from Albertville.
Derek, good morning, sir.
Morning. Just for the record, I knew all 4 of them.
Attaboy. All right. I see you flexing.
I suppose I'll get the Friday afternoon questions now.
Yeah.
Well, hang on. We'll see how it goes. That's I like the confidence. I like the fact that you've got the advantage. You've already warmed up. You see how we're playing it. So good luck to you, sir.
I'm ready.
Tony?
Derek came to play. All right, number 1 is vacuous. Is it A, somewhat obsessed with cleanliness, B, empty-minded, or C, Greek mythology's least impressive hero, vacuous?
What is the first one or second one?
Somewhat obsessed with cleanliness is A, B is empty-minded, C is the Greek mythology thing.
Probably B.
I like
probably.
Throw C away.
You're probably right.
There you go.
I knew it wasn't C.
Yeah. Derek, number 2 is titty nope. Titty nope. Is it A, a small amount that's left over? B, the woodwind instrument behind clarinet and oboe? Or C, when one is forbidden from visiting a strip club?
For me, it's the last one. No. A. Let's go with that.
Correct.
Fair enough.
Titty nope. Just fun to say, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
How do you spell that?
Like it's on Titty. Nope. N-O-P-E. Titty nope.
Yeah, that's Sadie Hawkins' dance, 9th grade. But anyway, I digress.
It's a painful memory.
Whew.
All right, Derek, number 3 is masticate. A, when playing in his new band Bagmen, what Steve Gorman does between songs. Is it B, to remove the dorsal fin from a shark? Or C, to chew food, masticate?
Masto, that's the tough one. Boy, it's either B or C. Let me think. Is it probably C?
Probably? Is that your final answer, mister?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you're right. All right.
Attaboy.
To chew food, yes. Yeah. Last one, number 4, is petty. Is it A, an unimaginative name given to Candace's first dog? Petty. B, what one cranks up when listening to KQ on a road trip? Or C, an action of little importance? Petty.
Little important.
Wow, you nailed all of them, too.
Man, Justin.
I got 8 right so far.
Yeah, you're 8. Okay, easy, Tiger.
Says you.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, but although credit given, when the pressure was on, you did go 4 for 4, as did Justin. So, gentlemen, you both ran the table. I'm assuming Quizmaster General Tony Lee has a plan for extra time, overtime, sudden death, whatever you want to call it.
All those things. Always got one up my sleeve.
All right, here we go.
Here's your tiebreaker, fellas.
Justin, you're going to answer first.
Often referred to as Cambodian, the Khmer language spoken in many countries in Southeast Asia has the largest alphabet in the world, consisting of how many letters?
Wow.
I'm going to guess 37 on that one.
All right.
Justin with 37. Derek, what's your answer?
Repeat the question, please, one more time.
Largest alphabet in the world consists of how many letters?
Well, I think the largest alphabet in the world is throwing us off, but dang, I want to say, can I go higher or lower? Probably 38.
Ooh, added one with 38. Tony?
The strategy. The correct answer is 74.
Oh,
how about that?
Man. Go figure. Derek with 38, snaking it from Justin's 37. Derek, you, sir, are the winner. 8 for 8 plus extra time. Well played. You're going to go see the Impractical Jokers Thursday at the Target Center. Gentlemen, thank you both for playing. And again, congrats to both for running the table. Derek just won One better, 38, 37, whatever it takes. Well done, sir.
Hey guys, can my kids say hi on the air?
Hurry.
Sure.
Make it happen.
Hey kids, you want to say hi on the radio? Say hi.
Yeah, there you go.
Hi, back.
Fair enough. All right, everybody's happy now. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
You got it.
That's the consolation. They get to say hi on the radio this morning.
That was cute.
That is cute. Man, they're going to get to school. They're going to tell their friends, and then their friends are. Wait, school's out, right?
Yeah.
Are we still in school?
Nope, all out.
All out.
You would know that.
Well, so God, I wonder where they're all heading so early in the morning. Or they might not have been in the car. Maybe I'm just assuming way too much about our listeners'
Maybe they're in
lives.
trouble.
Maybe they are in trouble.
Or maybe they're going to
were in the
breakfast.
back of a squad car. Oh, my God. Can't believe he called in during such a heady time.
It's no time to laugh.
Listen, spontaneity has a time and place.
Right.
I just snorted.
And it's not coming anytime soon. Well, hey, let's take a little break here. Comedian, actor Fortune Feimster.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she's bringing her comedy tour to the State Theater in October, currently in the Netflix series starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, FUBAR. I watched an episode last night trying to get to sleep. I thought, well, I'll watch an episode of something. There it was, FUBAR, not bad. She's going to join us here at 8 o'clock to talk about all of that. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Monday, June the 12th. Good morning. In a few minutes, a funny woman named Fortune Feimster is going to call in. She is one of the stars of the new Netflix show FUBAR, which stars what's his name, Arnold Schwarzenegger in his first ever TV series. And Fortune Feimster is a great stand-up and comedy writer on her own. So we'll check in with her momentarily. In the meantime, we have been discussing this morning the joys and miseries that make up parenthood, generally speaking. And the Facebook page, 92KQRS Facebook, has exploded with comments from parents venting a little bit. Zep, you got any good ones?
Oh, my gosh. My oldest son ate a Lunchable that he'd been saving in his room for weeks. The rancid meat gave us a weekend in the hospital. Just one of his many moments. Here's one in real time. Kimberly, my 8-year-old, already knows how to make a passable pillow dummy to sneak out of bed. She's going to be trouble. That's Mom typing that last sentence as well. She's
An
going to
8-year-old.
An 8-year-old already knows the whole dummy pillow, bed trick. Yeah, well, watch out for that one. An active imagination and knows how to implement it.
Man.
Right, that's gutsy. I like that one.
That's pretty strong right there.
You know, we talked about that whole waking up in the middle of the night just to tell us they're okay. Waking up to a text, Jimmy says, went to a college party, passed out at the event, an ambulance had to be called, but I'm okay. Thanks for waking me up.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Because you just can't go back to sleep after that. First of all, there's the, oh my God, that's my kid in the middle of the night. All right, now already the heart's going 126 beats per minute right there.
Yeah, of course.
And then they say they're okay, and your head hits the pillow again, heart still pumping, and then you just start thinking of all the ways they couldn't be okay, or why did they wake you up?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's all Tony, your guys are still young enough where they don't have criminal records yet. No track.
Not yet.
Not real criminal records, but the track record, I should say, where you and Rachel, but it's right around the corner, I have to imagine.
Yeah.
At least
I
for your
imagine
oldest.
so. You know what bugs me the most, though, about being a parent, and I obsess about this, is how much we get mocked and ridiculed. What are they noticing that I do that's really stupid and annoying that they laugh behind my back?
The one thing you can't, there's a lot of things you can't understand until you're in the thick of it as a parent. But on that list, to your point, is the fact that, someone can tell you, they watch everything you do, but you just cannot possibly imagine how deep that goes until your kids are at a certain age when they realize it's okay to make fun of mom and dad, and the stuff they pull out, the memories they have from as long as they've had memories of things you did and said that you were like, oh my God, you saw that, or you heard that, or you were aware of that. It's mind-boggling.
I thought I got away with all of it, too. I wonder if we have 1 minute to get a call in here before Fortune Feimster calls in about parenting.
Nicole from Lakeland.
Hey, Nicole, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, we're great over here. Thanks. What do you got for us today?
Yeah, so my 2-year-old, she colored herself with 4 tubes of red lipstick from head to toe, including her face.
Oh, boy.
And, like, she was stained. She's a little blonde, blue-eyed little girl. She was so proud of herself. My mom had put her in her crib for a nap, and she found 4 tubes of lipstick, walked in, and the crib, everything, covered in lipstick.
Well, hey.
She's an artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this wasn't the only time she colored herself in black, permanent marker, laying next to my husband. Yeah, she's a lovely daughter.
Yeah, the good times are just getting started. All the best. Nicole, thanks for the call. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Man, that is something. All right, I am very happy to say Fortune Feimster is with us on the horn right now on the KQ Morning Show. Fortune, it is a pleasure to chat with you. I'm going to start right here. Were you a good kid? We're talking about parents and how difficult it can be. Were you a good kid, or were you driving your parents nuts?
I would say I was a pretty good kid. I was the youngest of 3, and my oldest brother was pretty good, and my middle brother was a wild child. So by the time I came around, they were not caring as much, and I just kind of did my thing.
Yeah, it's definitely, as the youngest, I'm the youngest of a family as well. You also unconsciously learn a lot more about how to get away with stuff, or how to just you don't poke the bear as much.
I definitely learned a lot by watching my brothers make mistakes, so that helped for sure.
So you're a kid, you're growing up in North Carolina, so you're cooking up a lifelong master plan. Did that include starring in a series with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
It sure did not, because I'm from a town of about 10,000 people, and nowhere in my plan did I think I would ever end up in Los Angeles, just living there alone, but doing half the things that I've done. Certainly did not anticipate that I'd ever be in an action series and with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was crazy. I've been watching him since I was a kid.
Of course. What is this town? I thought you were from Charlotte, but obviously you're from somewhere nearby at best.
I am. I'm from a town called Belmont, North Carolina, just on the other side of Charlotte.
Okay, so who's the second most famous person from that town? I'm assuming you're number 1 on the list right now.
I think so. But the Jonas Brothers, their father is from Belmont, and he opened a restaurant there. So that's a little claim to fame.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. I wonder if those Jonas Brothers ever pop in for a barbecue sandwich or anything.
I know that they were there for the opening because they had a big party, but whether or not they go on a regular basis, I'm not sure.
Fortune Feimster's with us on the KQ Morning Show. Okay, let's go back to FUBAR, which is on Netflix right now. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger's first TV series. Not your first time on TV, of course. You were on the Mindy Project and a few other shows. I mean, you've done a million things, actually. But to that point, I was kidding when I said, did you map out doing a show with Arnold? But how much of this is by design? Did you initially go to LA thinking you would be a writer? Did you think you would be a stand-up? What was the original thought process for what you were hoping to get done?
The original plan was to move to LA and just have kind of a life experience. I really didn't anticipate, if I would be able to be in the entertainment industry and what that would look like. I had the opportunity to work kind of a personal assistant kind of job. And so when I was here, I just realized, it was hard to make friends. It was hard to meet people. So I started taking improv classes at the Groundlings as honestly just a hobby and a way to meet people. And it quickly turned into a passion. And that's where the dream started to build from there was, this seems tangible now. This seems like something I could actually do. But, of course, the path isn't short or easy. It's been 20 years now. Sure.
Fortune, that's an interesting point. What you said, you just wanted to have a life experience. I think that's in a certain way, it's almost like a superpower because a lot of people go out there with a very specific mindset and a thought process, and nothing's going to get in their way. You were probably actually more open. You were probably more aware of doors opening. Just because you're not looking for them doesn't mean they're not worth pursuing.
Absolutely. I was open to whatever presented itself. I ended up weirdly enough, becoming an entertainment journalist for 7 years. That was my day job. And that was from just like being open, not knowing, what exactly I wanted to do. And I got to, to actually make money as a performer takes a very long time. And I got to have this really cool job, on the path to that, where I was interviewing every celebrity, in LA, going to the Oscars, the Emmys, premieres. And so I got to do that, which I never would have guessed I would have done.
Fortune Feimster is with us on the KQ Morning Show. You mentioned you were a personal assistant, and that's I think my limited experience knowing people who have said the same thing. You actually have a lot of opportunity from that. If you're working for somebody who's busy, kind of like you right now, you have so many things going on. It's a front row seat about, isn't it? It's not just running errands. It's a whole lot of opportunity there if you're paying attention.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's just a good way to learn how things operate, in LA. It's a different beast out here, and the business is its own thing, and so you're just able to, do a job that you don't want to do forever, but it's a good way to learn and grow, and I definitely did that, and certainly did that by knowing that I wasn't great at that. I could barely take care of my own life.
Hey, whatever it takes. Fortune, Candace has a question for you.
So I was wondering, you obviously spent a lot of time in the entertainment business. I'm assuming you're still connected, and I want to know what you think of Scandival.
Oh man, it's so funny. I never watched Vanderpump Rules at all, not a single episode until that happened, and then so many people were talking about it. I kept being like, why is everyone talking about this? I don't understand why this is so popular, why anyone cares about these people. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go back and watch like one episode and also simultaneously watch a new episode. And I was hooked right away. And I've been simultaneously watching the old seasons and the new season. I mean, it's gripping. It's like, you're watching these people in real time have this major scandal unfold in this like crazy social experiment. But it's jaw-dropping, the things that have happened. And I've been glued to it like everybody else.
Okay, I feel less lame now.
Yeah, I just know I might. Yeah.
Listen, my wife thinks I'm totally lame. She's like, I can't believe you're watching this show again. I'm like, you don't understand. They're all friends.
Oh, I know it. My daughter's on this thing. I'm afraid I'm going to get sucked into it. I'm trying to just, avoid it at all costs. Fortune, your Live, Laugh, and Love tour just got started. Doesn't get here to the State Theater until October 14th, but tickets are on sale now. But I see it just launched here recently. How's that going for you?
Oh, it's been awesome. The tour started in February. It's a whole new hour. If anyone's watched either of my stand-up specials on Netflix, it's a completely different set from that. I'm talking a lot about where I'm at in life currently. I talk about my honeymoon. I'm talking about, settling into married life. And I'm also talking a lot more about my mom and our relationship as we get older. I'm doing a lot of crowd work, a lot of interactive stuff. So this tour has been one of my most fun and one of the silliest. We're getting a lot of people writing me saying that they just didn't stop smiling the entire time. And that's something, I'm really proud of, because that's what you want. You want people to feel good and feel better than when they got there.
That's doing the Lord's work if you're pulling that off.
Right?
Man, no kidding. State Theater here in Minneapolis on October the 14th. Fortune, was there ever any music in your life? Did you ever pick up an instrument as a kid?
I tried the piano very shortly, was not very good at it because I was never good at reading music. And then in college, I taught myself to play the acoustic guitar. And I would sit in this little breezeway where people would go in and out of the dorm room. And I only knew how to play like one song, Leaving on a Jet Plane. And so I would sit there and play and sing this song over and over again.
Sure.
I mean, people must have wanted to kill me. I can't imagine that was a good thing.
A lot of D and G in that one, if memory serves. I think that's one of the 3 songs I ever learned on guitar as well. What school did you go to?
A tiny women's college in Raleigh, North Carolina called Peace College.
Oh, I've heard of that. Oh, Raleigh, North Carolina. I go right to the Char Grill when I hear about Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh, good stuff. Yeah.
That's about as good a burger as there is on this planet. What's the first concert you ever saw? Like cool concert with your friends?
Well, I don't know if you would call it cool, but I went and saw the Beach Boys with my parents. Mm-hmm. That would have been the first one, like my first concert ever. But my first one with friends would have been New Kids on the Block.
Oh, man. You were living the life.
I mean, listen, I had a thing for that boy band. I don't know what it was. I don't know if I wanted to be like them, but I was totally into them.
You had a thing for boy bands. It's called what? Being born in the 80s, I guess.
I think so. I had pictures, of course, of Jonathan all over my wall.
Well, who didn't? I mean, come on. We all raise your hands, guys. We all had Jonathan pictures on the wall.
I know you guys had pictures of New Kids on the Block.
Damn straight, of course.
Can neither confirm nor deny that.
Hey, so I know you've got a million of these. We're going to let you bounce, but real quick. So I don't mean to just kind of skip right past the fact that Arnold Schwarzenegger, it just is dawning on me. You're working with him on a show. Everybody's in there, but, he's one of the biggest movie stars of all time. Yeah. And there has to be moments when you just kind of look across the room and go, oh, that's that guy. That's that ginormous. He's like on Mount Rushmore for movie stars.
I mean, you feel that when you meet him for sure, because you don't know what he's going to be like, and you know him as this movie star and as the governor, and in so many different facets. I mean, he's world famous. He's famous in a way that few people are these days.
Sure.
And you kind of almost forget about it sometimes because you get to know him, and he's so nice and generous and funny, and you're cracking up, and then you kind of go out in the world with him. And everyone's like losing their minds. You can see grown men like just stopping their tracks, just being like, "What?" Like their childhood boyhood dreams are coming true right in front of their face. Yeah. And Arnold's so always like shaking hands and hugging and taking pictures. He's very aware of his presence. And I definitely had that pinch me moment when we were in a scene together and there was explosions going off around us and a gunfire, and we're having an army crawl across the ground.
Yeah.
And it's he and I side by side, and they yell, cut. And he looks at me and he goes, now you know what I've been doing for 40 years. Man,
that's awesome.
This is crazy.
Oh, when I heard you were going to be, we're in FUBAR, and I started watching it. I only got about an episode in. You were going to be on with us, so I thought, I'm going to jump on this. And I was going to watch it anyway, just because, I'm a kid of the 80s. Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's my Jonathan. And I thought, what a cool series to be in, because it's not just a character study in one set or something like that. You're in a freaking action series.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's awesome. You have to do a lot of cool things.
If anyone doesn't know who I am, Google me, and you'll be like, that is not the person I thought who was here in action series.
That's probably the coolest thing you could say about your career. You just keep doing things that not only anyone else, but you yourself are probably like, I can't believe this is happening right now. That's right. That's great.
100%.
Well, keep on keeping on, Fortune. It's a pleasure to chat with you.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you, guys. I'm excited to get up to Minneapolis, one of my favorite cities. So.
And a great comedy town for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Hey.
I'm stoked.
And I'm coming to L.A. in a couple weeks. Maybe we could go to Tom Tom.
Oh, boy.
And egg it.
Right,
Here we go. Besties. Thanks so much, Fortune.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
See ya.
Bye.
Okay, seriously though,
she's not down to earth at all.
I can roll my eyes and make fun of all these guys that see Arnold Schwarzenegger and get all excited when she just described doing the crawl through the mud with gunfire and explosions going off. I literally got goosebumps. I was like, can you imagine shooting like an action scene with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Right? I mean,
that'd be the coolest thing
you
ever.
Just start to giggle.
Bucket list.
It's like Jacques Cousteau going, put on your tanks and let's go underwater. You're like, oh my God, this is amazing.
And what would dads pay more for? That's like going to band camp, having what was it, Aerosmith or whatever, going to band camp with Aerosmith, or one of the guys in Kiss. You get to do an action scene with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, that's right there.
That's definitely high on the list. Oh, you know what? How about what? Hang on, let me look at what are we doing here? We got a clock. I want to talk. We got a quiz. We got to quiz a few people on some things. Here's up.
Are we quiz? Oh, you know what? We should do that quiz. Oh, this is a fascinating quiz. What's more dangerous to you, your spouse or a serial killer? Think about it. All right.
Yeah.
We're going to take this quiz at 8:30. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Monday, June the 12th. Whoo, baby. All right, it is quiz time. It's time to see just how insightful we are. And I'm going to ask, well, you know what? I'll ask us all a question or two. Let's see how smart we are. Now, this is the kind of quiz that, of course, only an insurance company would come up with. Insure.com, the website, put this together based on insurance data. We're going to ask you which of these two things is more dangerous. We'll see if it's all counterintuitive. Something tells me it might be. Okay, number one on the list. Here's the big one. What's more dangerous, your spouse or a serial killer? What's more likely to be dangerous for you? Candace, what do you think the answer is?
I'm gonna go with serial killer, Steve.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna.
Well, you would
I'm
be
spouseless.
You would be okay. In your case, then I guess that makes perfect sense. For those of us with a spouse, watch your back. Far more dangerous than the average serial killer. Far more greater chance of malfeasance coming at the hands of a spouse than a serial killer. Of course, 2,700 people a year are in fact killed by their spouses. Whoa, whoa, daddy. Right. That's crazy. Less than 1,000 by serial killers. So, come on.
They end up on that website, hitman.com. Hire a hitman. Is that the one?
That's the one.
You know where you're 100% safe?
Where's that?
If you're married to a serial killer.
That's exactly right. Do you think BTK's wife she's the safest woman in America?
No doubt. Absolutely. Yeah. Look at, what's his face, of John Wayne Gacy. Married to the woman she didn't even know. She says, I don't buy it, really. But who's that checked? I mean, I was a checked out spouse, but can you be that checked out? He put 22 bodies in the crawl space in the basement. Anyway, married to a serial killer. Probably the safest way to go about marriage.
There's a show that did some experiments after John Wayne Gacy, and they purposely went to a neighborhood, and in the middle of the night, they started digging up the yard and putting these large containers in there just to see if, and nobody said a word and nobody noticed.
Really?
It was a hidden camera news documentary show,
No, that's
fascinating.
Eerie. That's nuts.
Didn't want to get involved.
It depends. There are some neighborhoods in Montana you don't want to. They're looking out their window waiting to shoot someone. Is that someone digging a hole? Just shoot them. We'll find out later.
If you shoot them right, they'll fall into that hole. And then we take care of two problems at once.
Exactly.
Holy smokes, man! Nuts. Oh, I gotta see that. I gotta go find that show you're talking about. That's fascinating. All right, how about this one? What's more dangerous, your parent or your young child? Wow, easily your parent.
Okay.
It says, again, insure.com. Thanks, insurance agents, for freaking us all out. There's about a 1 in a million chance your child will kill you, but when a young child... this is so depressing.
It's macabre, I know.
Come on, depress me.
Here's a better one. Dog bite or snake bite? What's more dangerous?
Well, there got to be a lot more dog bites than snake bites, but which one would you rather be bitten by?
I'll take a dog over a snake any day. I mean, at least with a dog bite, there's no chance of it being venomous.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it might be gross, it might hurt, it might kill you, but it's not going to kill you with venom. I mean, snake bites are just the worst.
Working in the yard out west, and we have rattlers out there. And I saw a little baby one. Yeah, about like your pinky. Just a little cute baby rattler just squirreled away. And I thought to myself, and I said something, excuse me, clearing my throat. But I said something to a neighbor. I said, "Oh no, it wasn't bad. It was just a little one. I'm not worried about getting bitten by those."
Oh,
I
yeah,
look for the big ones. Yeah, right.
The worst.
You already know. It's the
I
little
know.
ones because the big ones control the amount of venom that they, but the little ones when they bite, they don't know how to control their venom, and you're going to get the entire load. So now. What are you laughing
like
at, Tony?
Sounds like
many a teenage boy.
Yeah, youth of today. Sure.
Right, exactly. And so, now you've got to not only watch out for snakes, but those little ones you can't see are the most dangerous. No thanks.
When you spend your life in total panic about maybe encountering a snake, as I do, you learn these things. Like, big rattler, little rattler, go to the big one. He knows exactly how little venom he needs to scare you down.
And to your point, he has a big rattle. He's going to let you know long before you get there. Okay, that's a rattle. I'm going to go the other way. The little guy doesn't have a rattle.
To answer the original question, more people die in the U.S. every year from dog bites than snake bites. There's about, but the numbers are really shocking. Low, only 20 from dog bites. Now, if you know one of those people, it's not only, it's oh my God. But I'm saying across a country with 350 million people, 20 people a year die from dog bites, 10 from snake bites. However, there's, of course, way more dog bites than snake bites. There's like 4 million reported dog bites a year versus only 45,000 snake bites.
All right.
That is 45,000 more snake bites than I want to know about. But
you shouldn't have told us about your aversion to snakes. Because you're just opening it up to devilish pranks.
I'm going to buy every rubber snake in town at every novelty store I can find.
If a rubber snake's one thing, but here's the thing, and I'll just say this genuine, and I say this with love and respect for both of you. You bring a real snake in here, we're throwing hands. I kid you not. I will wait for that snake to be removed from the premises, and then I will throw a wrecking ball right somewhere into your face. I have no chill or cool. Nothing's funny where that's concerned.
That's perfect because I have a fear of fists.
Yeah, that'll work out. That's right. That's what we have interns for. We'll have one of those suckers do it.
That's exactly right. Oh, craziest job you ever had? Well, it was after my junior year at the U, and I was working at this radio station. This guy ran out of the booth and punched me. It was bizarre. I don't know. One of the other guys just said, bring this snake in there. Next thing you know. How about this one? Okay, what's more dangerous, a shower or a bath?
Oh, well, the shower, right? I mean, slipping, falling.
You would think,
right.
And I would too. Although, truth be told, when I think danger in bath, I always picture the plugged-in radio being dropped into the bathtub. I must have seen a movie where that happened as a kid because I'm always thinking about an appliance and a bathtub and how they shouldn't mix.
I'd say bathtubs. I think you drink or take a sedative or something, you just slip under the waves.
Yes.
Houston.
By the way, bathtubs by a huge degree more dangerous, more likely to die than in the shower. Yes, people slip in the shower, but it's between drowning and electrocution. Way more people in the bathtubs.
Shocking.
That's exactly what you did there.
Stole it from a James Bond movie. But,
sure.
All right.
Candace, I believe we have a caller.
Alan from Minneapolis.
Alan, good morning, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
Well, everything's okay on this end. How's your morning so far?
I'm on my way to work. I sell insurance.
Oh, very, very well, sir. So what have you got for us?
Well, it's not about what is more dangerous in terms of the actual thing. Snake bite is obviously might be more dangerous than, say, a dog bite, but it's about number of occurrences too.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's like, what are the odds?
I got you.
I've been bitten by a rattlesnake.
You have?
Whoa.
Yep. We used to catch them in California, and we'd bring them to the university, and they'd give us $20 a snake. And they'd milk them for the venom to make anti-venom.
Right.
But we always carried a snake bite kit just in case.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a series of dumb questions. What was your technique? How do you catch a rattlesnake?
With a looped stick.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen those. And then where did it bite you?
On the calf.
And did it just hurt like the devil?
Yeah, I can't use the language here.
Right, sure.
Now, Alan, they say cut a straight line through it, and then you have a buddy. You can't suck it out of your own calf. I just imagine you're not that limber. I don't know much about you, but did you guys go? Or is it just get the venom in you, the anti-venom or whatever, and then you're good?
It's a very fiery, burning feeling when you get a rattlesnake bite.
And is that like right away? I mean, like within seconds?
Oh yeah.
So there's no question that he got you. And then how long till you got some antivenom?
Well, we carried snake bite kits with us.
Okay.
So we were able to make the little X's. You draw out the poison, and then you get your butt to the doctor.
Did you know that you get like $30 for plasma down at the plasma center? Nothing bites you. That's another way to make money. Yep. All right, just check.
Oh, I know. I've been there. I've done the plasma center in Bloomington.
Oh yeah. I used to walk to the plasma center for gas money, so I could walk back and all right.
Yep.
They didn't do the rattlesnake thing. All right.
Okay, so
well,
between
they didn't have the plasma centers in California back in the early 1960s.
Oh, this is going back a ways then. So
yeah. I'm an old fart, yeah.
So did you have the situation where like it like your leg near the bite, did it start to blacken and bruise up and look really grotesque for a few days?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of discoloration and swelling and bruising.
Oh,
even after the fact, because you were attacked.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no question.
Yeah. Do you feel like you have some sort of resistance now because you were bitten once?
No.
All right. I got to test it.
You do not build up a resistance to venoms of that nature.
Oh, well, you would hear some of those stories, the roadside rattlesnake preachers down there in Texas, that was their thing, that they'd been bitten so many times they developed a resistance. But, again, I think I just saw that in a movie.
Well, I imagine if you're doing it enough time, you might build up somewhat of a resistance over time. But, who the hell wants to go down that road?
Yeah, I hear you there. Hey, Alan, that's fascinating, man. Thank you for the call.
Hey, always a blast to talk to you guys. I miss Tommy B.
Right on. Thank you, sir. I tell you right now, I've watched documentaries about the snake handling churches like in Appalachia. There are guys who've been bitten 6, 7, 8 times. And when they show their limb wherever they got bit, because these guys don't go for antivenom. They'll just ride it out, man. And the bruising, the discoloration, the swelling, I just think, man, no thank you.
Yeah, they don't need that. Jesus sucks it out for them.
I guess that's what they think. But fun fact about me, honestly, this is a compelling conversation. We'll go to a commercial break, and I will want to throw up.
Feel free.
Snake talk is just. But this is me. When I go to a zoo, though, what do? I go right into the reptile house. It's like if I know there's snakes nearby, I have to see them because then they can't sneak up on me. Like it's a real. It's a let's just call it a quirk as opposed to a real problem.
Steve has a quirk. He's one of us. All right. Well, Candace, you hold his hair while he barfs it up during the break here. Right. At 9 o'clock, we're talking wildfires, air quality hazards with trailblazing firefighter and author Claire Frank. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show for Monday, June the 12th. In a few moments, we will be joined on this show by Claire Frank. Claire Frank is a veteran firefighter from California who has written a new book called Burnt, which is it's called Burnt, a Memoir of Fighting Fire, a critically acclaimed insider's look at life in the fire station from a woman, a rare breed woman, 5'2", 17-year-old when she signed up to become a firefighter. An incredible journey in her life, and she ended up literally in California, the highest-ranking woman in California firefighting history. So I am looking forward to speaking with her. With all the wildfires we've seen lately, a pretty timely moment to get on the phone with a fascinating person with a fascinating subject line. Before we are joined by Claire Frank, to reset something we were talking about earlier in the show, the joys of parenting that never go away. And by joys of parenting, the pain in the ass that can be parenting at times that we were discussing throughout, no matter how, what's the old line? You're only as happy as your saddest kid as a parent. Like, the emotional ups and downs, the trials and tribulations your children live through, they wear on us all. And to that point, last night, my son, who is in Mexico with some friends, His buddies just graduated from college. My son's got another year. They go down. They take a trip. And, they're having a great time. But last night, I wake up this morning at 3-something a.m. whenever I pop awake. And there's a series of text messages from him informing me that he and his buddies were shook down by some small-town policemen who took all their money. They said, give us all your money or we'll arrest you. For all I know, they weren't cops. They were just guys with guns. Who knows? I don't know. But it's a series of texts, all of which end up with him saying, we're fine, we're back at the house, all good, but it was crazy. And I just have that thing where I'm like, then why text me?
Yeah.
Just text me tomorrow. Like, if everything's good, then just wait till it's all over. Get me in the morning when you know I'm awake and say, crazy night last night. Do you have a minute or something? But I love that he's in touch. I love that he felt the need to share that with me. But then by the time I wake up, he's already asleep. And he says everything's cool, but I'm thinking, well, hell, who knows? I mean, maybe they came back. Maybe these guys were scouting out to see where they lived.
Right.
And I just texted him. I said, well, let me know everything's okay when you wake up. During the last commercial break, he texts. Doesn't even have time to write all good. He just wrote all G.
Oh, he said, and you woke me up when you texted me.
Yeah.
All G.
Right.
All G.
Try calling your kid in the middle of the night sometime and see if that gets answered. See if they even get back to you. Yeah, you get all G like at noon the next day. Well, hey, they got a hell of a story out of it down there. But yeah, kids.
Both my kids, college students, if I call, more often than not, it's not answered. The immediate text, what's up?
Yep.
Right.
Right.
Well, answer the damn phone and I'll tell you.
No.
Yeah, right. No, it's why are you calling? My kids do the same thing. I saw that you called. Yeah, I just called you and you just texted. So that they knew the call was coming in, but what do you want to call? Why do we have to talk about it? I'm like, I don't know. Call me old-fashioned. I love this one from Rebecca on KQ's Facebook. Oh, we have a moment here before our guest joins us. My son made up a story so he didn't have to go to school about getting beat up at the bus stop. Even had the napkin with blood on it. Look, Mom, you stay home. Gets upset at the school because parents always go a little further than we want them to. The kids just want you to go, oh, fine, get back in bed, that sort of thing. But Mom goes all the way, gets everybody fired up with the bus driver and that whole thing in the school. Later that day, just not making sense to her, and some of the answers she was getting, went back, grabbed the napkin from the garbage and smelled it. Yeah, ketchup.
Sure.
Yeah, right. Just ketchup, It was just a little harmless lie to him, but Mom spent half of her day lighting everyone up about her kid getting beat up at the bus stop.
Hey, if they didn't want kids to take advantage of that, then why did they make it red? You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
You can blame Hunts, Hines, and all of them.
Hunts, Hines, and all of them. All right. I see that our guest line is ready to rock and roll.
That's great. We are now joined by Claire Frank on the KQ Morning Show. Claire, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to chat with you. We talked a few minutes ago. We kind of set the table for who you are and your book that is now out, Burnt: A Memoir of Fighting Fire. But I want to go back to the 17-year-old who decided to do this. Most of us, I don't know anybody that at some point as a little kid, didn't think, yeah, I want to be a fireman. I want to be a firefighter. That's cool. And most of us, when we get within 5 feet of an actual fire, we think twice about that. What is it about you? What is it about you that went, oh, no, I kind of like this? Like, looking back, was there something about fire that was just interesting or compelling, or was it the actual day-to-day camaraderie? What attracted you to the life of a firefighter?
Yeah, Steve, it was all of it. I went on my first fire. I signed up to be a summer seasonal firefighter, and I went on the first fire. It was a wildland fire. And after the firefight, we put the fire out in like half an hour. I had never felt more aligned. I had everything there. There was the physicality that I loved. There was dirt and sweat and camaraderie and a battle that we won. So I was hooked. I call it love at first flame.
Love at first flame. People, and when I say people, I will absolutely include myself in this. We really don't know how fire works, if that makes sense. In my mind, you see a fire, you just put something on top of it and it goes right out. You're dealing with wildfires and acreage and massive it's there's like a whole science to this that you're doing something that the average person literally has no understanding of. Is that accurate to say?
Well, I would say, it's just it's a matter of scale. Because it's no different than, there's a fire. If there's a fire on the stove, you put a lid on it. What you've done is taken the oxygen away. Mm-hmm. On a wildfire, you can't take the oxygen away. There's too much of it. So you take either the heat away or the fuel away.
Right.
So tactically, that it's pretty simple, but it gets complex in terms of, okay, now it's moving into a different kind of fuel, or we have structures in the way, or the flame lengths are too intense. We can't get at it to cool it, so we're going to go at it from the air and then back it up with ground resources. So it becomes very like a military action.
Yeah, and when you're a firefighter in a building, I guess there is some sort of safety if you're out of that building. If you can extricate yourself from that building, just having spent some time living in the Rockies myself, you just don't get out of a forest quite as easily. And I've been to those places where, there's a memorial plaque. I think I'll go over and read it. And then you find out that, there were a dozen firefighters trapped on a ridge and those harrowing tales. So you decided you just didn't want to be a firefighter. That wasn't good enough. You wanted to be the scariest kind of firefighter that's out there. And then you did that, and then you ascended the chain of command. How the hell did you manage to pull that off?
Sometimes I look back, I ask myself that same question. I did not want to promote past captain, which is the last rank that keeps you on a fire engine, because I wanted to be in the field doing the work. But you gain some momentum, and people are like, well, maybe just take the test, just apply. You don't have to take the job, and that's the silliest advice I've ever followed, because once you're hooked into it, you can't get out. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave.
Claire, you have a title. You had the title Chief of Fire Prevention, one of the highest ranking women in California fire history. That title itself sounds like a cruel joke to me. I mean, Chief of Fire Prevention. I mean, what that's
the title was actually Chief of Fire Protection.
Oh, okay.
Which is still
scary. So can you be a firefighter without a sense of humor?
No.
Not possible.
Go elsewhere. Become an engineer.
Well, as everybody's been talking about, it seems like the problem in New York City and the Northeast, it's getting a little better now. But these wildfires from Canada, the smoke is blown over the Northeast, and there's been a lot of conversation for the last week about the insanity of that situation. So for most of us, we deal with a wildfire. It's an annoyance. It's hard breathing. I mean, it can be a health risk. But I mean, generally speaking, we're not in the thick of it. For you, when you see something like that, when you see wildfires of the scale that are dealing with in Canada, on top of everything else, it's just got to be so frustrating, because it's almost always because someone was just dumb. Is that not true?
Well, yeah. I mean, I just wrote an article for the New York Times a couple days ago, and that was the gist of my article. Was in the States, 80% of our fires are caused by human carelessness. People not even intending to start a fire.
Right.
It's just an outcome of what I call fire foolishness.
So there's when you talk about, and let's go back to California, the dry season, it's hard to imagine that one spark can set a forest off, that one firecracker or one little ash, one little piece of a fire that wasn't engulfed, but that wasn't extinguished, I should say. But it really is that simple, isn't it? Like one dropped match can literally set up a whole place.
Sure. It's one spark, and it'll catch the lighter fuel on fire. So it'll catch the grass on fire, dried grass on fire. And dried grass, they've done some experiments in throwing a match into some dried grass versus throwing it into gasoline, and they act fairly similarly.
Wow.
So, it starts with the dried grass, and then there's forest ground litter, and it builds from there. It's just like building a fire. It starts with kindling, and then you get the big logs.
Claire, did you have people telling you for years you should write a book, or was this something that you just had in the back of your mind?
It was something I had in in the back of my mind. I think most people didn't know what a passion I had for writing, because I let, the firefighting is a very all-consuming profession, and I'm kind of an all-in person, so I didn't want to try to do both at the same time.
Right. That makes sense. So in addition to fighting fires, going back to your early days, I mean, life and death stakes, but when you're not fighting fires, you're also jumping right into what I have to think was a boys' club. That couldn't have been easy.
It was easier on me than a lot of other women, I think. And for the most part, it's just I took an approach like I'm going to be a firefighter first. I'm not going to be a female firefighter. I'm just going to be a firefighter, and I'll be a female on my days off.
Yeah,
so
right. Sure.
That was just kind of if I ignore it, maybe they will, and we can move on. And that approach helped me navigate.
I doubt you thought of it in these terms like in real time. But looking back, have you? I mean, no one goes into a job thinking one day I'll be a mentor. But I'm sure along the way, younger female firefighters have looked at you and picked your brain and asked you for advice. I'm sure you have mentored several along the way.
Yeah, and I think you don't even know when you're a mentor.
Right.
Sometimes
right.
you're just doing your thing, and people are observing it, and that's to me that was the most flattering kind of thing when somebody later comes up to me and says, you were a mentor of mine, and I had no idea.
That's great. Claire Frank's with us on the KQ Morning Show. Speaking of, wildfires and the fact that we see more and more every year, not only are there more fires, but they certainly seem to be bigger and more impactful. When I was a kid, I mean, I know, Smokey Bear was everywhere. How do we get a better sense of messaging about these dangers to people? I mean, is it just as simple as coming up with a new mascot and a new slogan? What has to be done to make people more aware of just how easy it is to start a fire?
Yeah, I love this question. I think it is all about awareness, at least for a large number of the fires. And I did. In that New York Times article, I talked about, maybe we need something other than a cartoon character now. Something a little bit more serious. Let's start a campaign that is that shows the apocalyptic destruction and see where that goes.
Right. That makes perfect sense. The book Burnt: A Memoir of Fighting Fire. It's very well received, and from all accounts, it's a fascinating read. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet, but when we heard that you were available, we jumped on this last week, so it's a pleasure to chat with you. All the best, Claire. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
You got it. You're just a different cat when you decide, I'm actually going to go in and do that.
Yeah. When I have a friend whose son, Cole Baker, out in Bozeman, Montana, just started training with the smoke jumpers. They're the ones that they fly you in and you jump out and into the fire area because you couldn't otherwise get there. But when you talk to these people that fight these wildfires, out in the mountains, it's really a special forces vibe you get from them. These are highly motivated. To hear her talk when she came on was almost like a wildfire hitting your speakers, right? Yeah. This is just I started thinking about that and things that parallel that in the military, and that coming up through it as a female, you have to have the same attitude the guys have, and at some point that just disappears, and we're all out there doing our job. Right. They're all out there doing their job in that case, and that's where she obviously excelled. But it is so much more challenging out west than it used to be. First of all, wildfires are supposed to burn. One of their first missions is let them burn.
Yeah, right.
Unless they put human lives and structures in harm. But guess what we're doing? We're moving out into the mountains. More people, more prosperity. We're moving into areas we wouldn't have otherwise been in, and we're enjoying them more. You used to have a dozen hikers. That earthy friend of yours that was always hiking? They had hiking boots, and they actually used them for hiking. Yeah. Well, now that's a lot of people. That's really expanded. And we're all enjoying that. And there's a lot more people out in these areas, and a lot, greater chance for wildfires, and of course, and then burning areas and creating, toxic smoke. So I agree with her. It's time. The Smokey Bear thing is still a cartoon. It's fun. It's a kid thing. We don't take it very seriously. But anyone that spends any time even in northern Minnesota knows how very careful you have to be out there and have fire awareness.
There are several cases pending. I know just from several of the wildfires in California last year. They've got people, on the docket. There's about to be trials, and guys are about to go to jail for unintentionally starting fires, which, it's a sad thing, but that makes perfect sense to me. You torch 100,000 acres and burn a village down because you're an idiot with a cigarette.
Right.
I'd say you need to go do something to pay somebody to pay back on some level for sure.
Yeah, holding people accountable like that, that's how you get their attention, definitely.
College baseball weird series actually makes more sense. College baseball playoffs happening right now. Over the weekend, the ACC network, they tweeted a video of from 2021 that in real time nobody saw, nobody noticed. This blew up on sports Twitter over the weekend. An interview that's 2 years old. A pitcher for the Virginia Cavaliers back then gave, to say the very least, a memorable post-game interview. and again, everybody kept thinking like this happened over the weekend. It's 2 years old, but that doesn't matter because priceless content is priceless content. There is a guy named Stephen, I don't even know how you say his name, Scotch. He pitched for the University of Virginia Cavaliers, and he won a game 2 years ago in the playoffs. And here is a little bit of this post-game interview, which is unlike anything I've ever heard in my life.
You walk into a stadium, 8,000 people, they all want you to lose. But as long as you got your 26 guys ready to kick ass or kick butt, you're going to be all right. Sorry, I sweared. I shouldn't have sweared.
You're good.
Sweared.
Let's go back to that last inning, ninth inning. What are the emotions like entering that inning?
Well, emotions are go in, win. I heard a fan offer free Dippin' Dots if I blew it, which the price of Dippin' Dots with inflation is just unreal. So for a brief moment, I was like, damn, Dippin' Dots sound good. But also I thought in the back of my head, we win today, we win tomorrow, or tonight. We're going to be here another day. That's more per diem. So that means I can buy my own Dippin' Dots. And be so it's like, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to attack. I think 3 words every time I'm out there. The first one's a swear word, starts with F. Second word's attack. Third one's win. And I just repeat that to myself. Unless, there's a breach in the system and I walk a guy and I got to tell myself I'm a few different things. That isn't a winner.
That's incredible.
I might break that, but then I get right back on it.
It just goes on and on and on.
Him.
But when a kid starts the interview with, well, they told me they'd give me Dippin' Dots if I lose, and I thought about it. What with inflation and the rising cost of Dippin' Dots?
Right. Yeah.
Dippin' Dots, ice cream of the future.
Yeah.
Dude, they're so good.
They are so good. I wish I had some right now. I like his mantra: F, attack, win. Before every pitch, F, attack, win.
And then he says, unless I walk someone, then there's a breach in the protocol. Then I have to call myself some other names.
What a cool character.
I know. My God, he's probably in a booth somewhere now as an announcer. I doubt he made it out of the majors. Maybe. I don't know much about this guy. But,
I just want to thank all of his coaches and all the adults in his life who at no point tried to get this kid who is he's a collegiate Division I pitcher. He's obviously got some talent. Along the way, obviously no one just said, just say the right thing every time. Thank your coaches, thank your teammates, say that it's for the grace of God, this and that. No, he's like, no, I'm just going to shoot. I'm just going to say literally whatever comes to mind.
Can't muzzle him.
Man, that is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Not bad.
That's there's nothing wrong with that at all. We have just a few minutes left today. Quickly, we mentioned last week, Tony, I asked everyone if we'd ever seen UFOs, and you said you've had several UFO sightings in your life, both clean-minded, sober, and I'm sure just baked to the gills. But you've seen some UFOs. Las Vegas police released body cam as well as body cam footage as well as 911 audio of officers who were responding to a call from a family who claimed that a UFO crashed in their backyard. That's going.
What's going on?
Oh yeah. Here's some of that. Here's some of that 911 audio. It's nuts.
Okay, what's going on over there?
Okay, lady. Me, my dad, and my brother, we're working on a truck in our backyard, and we have a big lot outside, right? Correct?
Okay.
We were working, and we just see in a corner of our eye something fall down from the sky, and it was with light. And when I hit down, it was like a big impact, and we felt it. We felt like an energy, and then we hear like a lot of footsteps near us, and then we have a big equipment, and we see, and there's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us, and it's still there.
Okay, where is this on your property?
In my backyard. I swear to God, this is not a joke. This is actually we're terrified of it.
So there's 2 people or 2 subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes, like I can't explain it. And big mouth. They're shiny eyes, and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
I'm impressed that she said, okay, so there's 2 subjects that she's just calmly listening to this. They're 8 feet or 9 feet tall, 2 of them. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, the police showed up and there was no sign of any of this on the property.
No sign of any of this, and so you're like, oh, it's a prank call. The guy's just having some fun. But the brother and the dad, everyone remained on site. Dad would have to be in on this as well. Yeah. And you're thinking, oh God, is Tony right? Do we have to kiss his ass on Monday morning with this audio? But the thing that where it comes up a little short is big impact in the backyard.
Right.
Yeah, no mess.
Well,
it messed up the grass.
If you've got the ability to travel planetary from Milky Way, from galaxy to galaxy, I should say, and you crash land, then you probably have the technology to then remove all evidence of you having crash landed. Right, I'm just saying, if you can figure out how to get that spaceship here, you can probably figure out how to get it off this planet without leaving a mark. I'm always fascinated. There was there's a famous UFO little green men sighting from near the town I grew up in, Kentucky. There's a little village called Kelly, Kentucky, and if you Google the Kelly Green Men, their story's been about it since the 50s. Many villagers all had the exact same story. They got their story straight or not, but there was, a thing landed and all these little green men were walking around. And I've always said, you can't get a group of people to keep a secret for very long. I think it's just as hard to get a group of people to all stick to one story for very long.
But that's impossible.
Is it some bizarre mass psychosis? Is there another force at play here? Did someone put something in everyone's drink and then tell them a story as they were hypnotized so they actually believe it? I'm curious.
We don't know. We don't know because we don't have the proof.
That caller sounded just like vote for Pedro.
Yeah. Oh, that's very true. It is amazing that if you think about the number of times you pull your phone out to try to capture something and nothing happens, it's amazing that when apparently something like this did happen, no one pulled their phone out.
There's good footage of the flash in the sky.
Yeah.
So something was definitely there, but the 10-foot tall visitors.
Hey, right around the corner from our house, there's a giant bald eagle nest, which is really cool to see in the middle of Minneapolis. And I've seen the eagle flying around, circling, so I know he's there.
It wasn't a UFO?
The other day, it's not a UFO. It's an identified flying object. It's America's symbol.
Don't make jokes.
I was walking towards the nest. I was walking the dog, and we were walking down the path towards that area. And I thought, oh, maybe I'll see him today. I'll get my phone out. And then as I'm thinking that, bastard swooped right over my head, like 10 feet above my head.
Cool.
Before I could get my. As I'm thinking about it, he comes in from behind, like whoa, and then goes up into the nest and disappears, and I couldn't see him. I was like, oh come on! Like just 10 seconds earlier, I would have had full footage overhead.
My daughter was we're out on paddle boards on a lake in Montana. And there was like 13 of them above our heads. Oh. And one of them, and she has her phone out and is recording, and one of them dive bombs her. Now, it doesn't hit her, but about 10 feet over her head, it arcs away and back up. I can hear this thing's wings.
They're huge.
I mean, that's how close, and they are huge. And with this massive wingspan, and I thought, oh my God, that's viral.
Yeah,
we're gonna make money. You've got one of the greatest videos of all time. She goes, I didn't record it. I'm like, it was going right. How could you not? She goes, I was freaking out. There was this large carrion dive bombing me, Dad. I stopped recording so I could, paddle my ass out of here. And I was like, oh, you blew it.
That checks out, though, because seeing that sucker up close, it's like, that's way bigger than I realized.
Coming right at you.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. All right, let's look back. It's time for a history lesson.
Today is special.
Today is special.
Tell me things.
Tell me things.
Steve, come up here for a second.
On this day in 1991, the Chicago Bulls finally broke through. Michael Jordan finally got his first NBA championship. They beat the Lakers 4-1. On June 12th, 1991, the 80s officially ended. That's how I saw it at the time. The Celtics were dead. The Lakers were dead. The Pistons were dead. Viva la Bulls. They owned the rest of the I know the Rockets got a couple there in the middle, and the Spurs won at 99. But the decade of the Bulls officially began on this day in 1991. On this day in 1994, O.J. Simpson, Heisman Trophy winner, 2,000 yards in a season winner, star of the Naked Gun and Hertz commercials, murdered 2 people. Yeah. And I'd say that as if it were yesterday, every bit of that insane story. But it was on June 12th, 1994, that the Rubicon was crossed, and we all recognized, oh, he's a complete full-blooded socio-psychopath, whatever you want to call him.
The KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.